Hello folks, it's Pig King here. Making do with what I got. Hoping to be able to catch this properly. Got a few new mods out today on the Mod Hub. If you want my honest opinion, there's nothing big enough for me, mod-wise, at this point in time. We're going on to a map that I have dubbed the Big Map. We're going to be doing a very large amount of work. You will see why. There it is. Make sure I've got the proper mods installed. Okay, while this loads, we're gonna send up a prayer. It's part of the branding that I'm establishing now, and it's within all of my brands now. And you're seeing me on my Pig King brand. So, here goes. Oh, Father, up there in heaven, our cherished and loved God, we ask that you assist in the cure being less deadly than the COVID-19 itself. It's currently looking towards that direction. It's impossible for SBOs to survive while shut down, with no income coming in and bills still left to pay. I, as a SBO down here, God, I humbly ask of you, please help. And I ask of thee to understand that I'm not asking for a lot, not even asking for a miracle, simply asking for humanity to be assisted in the ability to not fall into a Great Depression all over again. We ask thee in the name of the most amazing human to have walked the earth, Jesus Christ. We ask thee for assistance and being able to continue on, and we ask thee to be able to love, to hold, to cherish those around us, and to assist in the realization of what's truly important. Small businesses are the most important thing. Not big business, small business. We ask thee for the guidance of thy dreams and thy goals. We ask you to assist my subscribers and myself, and even the new viewers to my new channel that I'm creating right here today, to be able to understand and respect that we're all human and we all make mistakes. We ask thee for thy blessing in thy venture. In your name. And your Son, Jesus Christ's name, I testify and I pray, amen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get this going. Now, quite frankly, it's going to be a little laggy, if you know what I mean. No, I can't tolerate that. Minor delay, folks, minor delay. Something is way off on the graphics, folks. Yours truly made a mistake in adjusting the settings. Something went absolutely haywire. Goodness gracious, folks. I made a big mistake when adjusting the settings. I don't really know what went wrong or where. But that's just unacceptable, folks. That was outright unacceptable. We will tinker with the settings a moment, folks. Just some very minor technical difficulties. And as a note of full disclosure, I didn't even test before launching the game and starting a video or nothing. I need to rewash that. For those of you who have been following me on my other channels, I am Matt Hammerschmidt, and I'm doing the best I can with what I got to work with, folks. Draw quality ought to be on here somewhere. We're going to give this a shot. Hopefully it turns out better. I'll just shut the lid of the laptop like that. For those of you wondering, yes, I do game on the go. That's why I have it installed on a laptop and not that tower computer over there that I need to make some sort of weird wonky repair to. We're looking and I have no clue what went wrong. I know someone's gonna be down in the comments saying, I'd hate to ride with you in the real world. Well, guess what? This is not how I drive in the real world. Ah. All right, folks, if all else fails, literally, if all else outright if all else outright fails, try and try and try until you succeed. Failure is always an option. Failure is a first attempt in learning. Thomas Edison didn't fail 1,000 times. He discovered 1,000 ways not to make a freaking light bulb. And then some rich a-hole had to go screwing up that light bulb. Yes, you heard correctly. Some rich dude had to mess up a light bulb so he could make more and more sales on burning out on light bulbs that burn out. Now, here's a question. Where did Nikola Tesla actually come up with all of his designs and drawings? That's better. Mm-hmm. The answer is he stole them. Next trivia question. How did Bill Gates actually get away with what he did? He bought him off a crook who approached him and said, "Hey, I've got Apple's product that I stole. You want it?" And thus he bought it. So if your parents want to say you need to make clean money, the truth is the money is the root of all evil. There we go. That's better. So we've got a very large quantity of things in store for you today. Now, for those of you wondering just how truly large this particular field is, I'll give you a clue. It's huge. It is roughly 40 hectares. So for those of you who are Apple product users, where are you taking your Apple devices in Spokane County to get them fixed? Being as the Apple store is officially closed down because of some stupid virus. Now, I've said it once, I'll say it again. I've said it many times. China did, in fact, through their actions, declare biological warfare. We are at war. And that is the truth, and that is the fact. Anyone brave enough to attempt to dispute that with me, please understand this. I don't make off-the-wall statements. I said it from the start. Something was going to go down in history bigger than anything we've ever experienced as a nation here in the United States of America. And here we are facing a global pandemic. I said it back when we were raising our tariffs to China. You can't just raise the tariffs and expect countries to just go, yeah, whatever, it ain't that big a deal. When the tariff, the way I can explain what happened from the tariffs massively increased that way, I'm sorry to say it, but this is the only way I can accurately explain it. It'd be like if I told you as President of the United States that I'm raising your taxes as a citizen of the United States from, for example, 7% taxes to 21% taxes. I'm fairly certain that you would rebel as well. And for those of you crazy enough to say that you would not, then you're crazy. It's literally that simple. Which quite literally is what we did to China. We, as a nation, skyrocketed the taxes to China, and China said, oh, we're going to make sure we got even with you. Not with their words, but with their actions. 3 foreign nationals were in fact arrested and are on trial for treason. And they're all Chinese foreign nationals, folks. Go ahead, try to debate me. But before you go flapping your gums, before you go pecking away on that keyboard like the keyboard warriors a lot of you tend to be, I ask of you one simple favor. If you're watching this video, you have access to the internet. My favor to ask of you is truly simple. Research it first. Do your best to, with true and accurate information, prove me wrong. I'll bet you can't. And I'll bet there's someone out there watching my video that thinks that they can prove me wrong, who haven't even examined the situation for what it is. And what it is in its rawest, simplest form is we have a giant issue on our hands as a global system. The one thing that's done the most damage to humanity is global economic. And the reason I say global economics got us into a lot of trouble, I'm not speaking out my rear end when I say this. It truthfully has gotten us into a lot of trouble. And the way it has gotten us into tremendous trouble is in the 60s, the average American, by the time they were my age, 26 years old, the average American was in a home that they owned. Not the bank, but they owned. Now, the average American is one rent check away from being homeless. One rent check, that's all it is. The average 26-year-old American is one rent check away from homeless. If you want to try to convince me that I'm wrong, my one and only favor to ask of you is before you speak, make sure that your statement, if it were reversed on you, will not upset you. Now, I've got a neighbor, and she is a fellow member of the LDS Church. I have my documents signed and all filled out and everything to become baptized and get voted in as a member. I'm already taking lessons in the priesthood. And our job as those of the members of the church, and even more so as those in the priesthood, is to make sure that we're giving accurate information. And that's really what it comes down to in its simplest, purest form. And a lot of you are naysayers and in denial. Well, a fellow member of our church stated something that really struck home with me. Denial is a lot more than just a river. It's possible to truly be in denial of literally everything. And a great king many years ago, several hundred years before the coming of Christ, spoke to a prophet by the name of Moses. Moses stated, "The coming of Christ is near, and I testify that it is true, for I have witnessed God, and I know it to be true because sin is law. Well, the king said to Moses, "Don't believe a word he says. It's all a lie that he speaks of." The day of the king's death, he tempted God to prove that he existed. God made the king so afraid that the fear alone of what he had done killed him. Moments before his death, he repented of his sins after apologizing and confessing his sins to his people. Now, I know that there's been a change of my branding a little bit. But when I first started the brand of Pig King Gaming, I was absolutely looking for God, and I was in the Catholic Church unable to find God. And I testify this to be true, that God, I'm sorry to say, he exists, but not within the Catholic Church. The question you folks need to ask yourself is, if you're going to church and you're still looking for God, is it possible you're in the wrong church? That is the most important question you folks have got to ask yourselves. I asked myself that question after showing up to church one day. It was about 10:30 at night. I had called the priest 15 minutes prior and said, I need to go to confession and I need to do it now. I showed up at church. I tried every door. I tried the doors of his house. I tried the doors of the church, the doors of the confessional. None of them were unlocked. He was there. I knocked on every door. There was no answer. How I know he was there is a friend of mine and fellow church member who is what she calls Mormon Catholic. Had informed me that there was indeed a person that the priest was looking for that had called him up, who had stated he urgently needed to go to confession, and for someone to have called him in the middle of the night to go to confession, it had to have been really important and really weighing on his mind. So, the moral of the story is, if you're a priest and somebody calls you up because they need to go to confession urgently, make sure that all the doors of the church are unlocked. Because he lost a member of his church that day. I refused to go back to a Catholic church. The priest admitted he made a very big mistake in not verifying that the doors were unlocked. But the lesson still my message still remains the same. When you are of the priesthood and a member of your church calls you and says, I need to go to confession urgently, make sure to either wait for them in the parking lot or make sure all the doors are unlocked. Now, I have another little statement I need to make to you folks, and it's definitely not rocket science. The pendulum has swung so severely to sin being the law of the land, with contradictory laws such as not being allowed to kill somebody, but in another law you're allowed to kill an unborn child, but in another law you're not allowed to kill a child who has not been conceived yet by destroying a person's sexual reproductive organs, or by killing an unborn child through any method. It's very conflicting. There's a lot of individuals who have had abortions and so on and so forth that are now existentially sterile. For all intents and purposes, 100% sterile. The true, best, most effective way to avoid pregnancy, it's not through a condom, it's through abstaining from sex. I know that sounds excessively simple, and I know it seems that I state that as though it's easy. But it's not. It's not easy. Pray. If someone is wanting to have sex with you and you don't want to have sex and they pressure you into sex, that is called coercion, and you can get them for rape via coercion. My next statement of being able to stand up for yourself is, let's say you had sex with someone, that someone is now pregnant with your child, and they go get an abortion. But you wanted to keep that baby, you wanted to give the baby a shot. You can legally have your wife, your ex, or the person you had sex with, whether they're your ex, whether they're your wife, your girlfriend, whatever have you, you can legally have them tried for murder of a future child who is unborn. Now, understand this much. The woman is going to hide behind the abortion laws. Stick to your guns. I have been wrongfully accused of crimes, though. And the truth of the matter is, at the time, I'll show you. I've got the best camera possible to show you. See something off about my foot that I've got on my desk? A year ago, I had that toenail permanently removed. Now, I was still kind of up and moving around and walking, but I couldn't even traverse stairs safely. And as a farmer and cowboy, for me to state that, I really have to be in a really huge amount of pain. Not only do I really have to be in a huge amount of pain, I have to be really, really struggling. For me to say, I hurt, I can't walk, that's a lot of pain, folks. I was literally suffering from an abscessed toe as a result of what the Vietnam soldiers, the Vietnam War veterans call jungle rot. What the people in Africa refer to it as is foot rot. And let me tell you something. In one day, I slipped, fell into a door, throwing my back out of whack, getting a concussion right there on the spot. 10 minutes later, I rolled my ankle, spraining my ankle. Mind you, I already had the toenail permanently removed as of 2 weeks prior to that going down. I get slanderized and disrespected by the college that I was attending. I almost get evicted for not going down to the office to handle my business, even though I texted them and said, under doctor's orders as well as a cowboy, stating, I hurt, I'm not physically able to go down to your office. I can let you in, we can fill the paperwork out, we can do it right here in my own home. And quite frankly, they outright ignored and disrespected my wishes. And doctor's orders, which is literally illegal to disobey written documentation. In one fell swoop, Spokane Falls Community College refused a written doctor's note stating that I was unable to continue college for the quarter and would likely need to fully withdraw medically for the remainder of the year. Spokane Falls Community College of Spokane, Washington refused medical paperwork, labeled me as insane. Next thing I know, I'm under arrest slanderously for a crime I did not commit. Allegations that were both false and inaccurate. My indisputable, impersuadable witnesses cameras were refused to be allowed as witnesses. And furthermore, not only was that the case, my neighbor who actually was at that time taking care of me and coming in and out of my apartment frequently to take care of me was nearly evicted for taking care of her best friend and neighbor. So you tell me, why should I go back to college? Why should I go work for some rich a-hole with a piece of paper where all I've got to show for 4 years of misery is a stupid piece of paper? I already have one of those. It's called a high school diploma. I actually have a piece of paper in my documentation of when I got my master mechanic certification as a gasoline engine mechanic. I have another one that states my master mechanic certification for light duty diesel engines. And I'm working on another one as we speak for heavy duty diesel engines. Now, let me explain something to you here, folks. I've been turning wrenches, throwing jack stands around, pumping up jacks since I was 4 years old. My father has a picture of when I properly jacked up a boat trailer with the boat still on it. At 4 years old. My father's comments and my mother's comments were as follows. I've never seen a trailer, or any vehicle for that matter, so properly placed on jack stands and properly lifted up. No one to this day has ever seen someone able to so properly do work. I pay attention to details. My small business right now is hurting because people are afraid to bring their cars to me. I have a storage unit full of tools and furniture and other things with no customers right now. I'm a certified diesel mechanic. I'm a certified gas engine mechanic. I go through update training. Under federal and state laws, I'm required to get at least 40 hours of update training per year. I get that in each season. The vehicles I work on are of the following countries for design specifications: American, Canadian, German, Australian, and England. I don't work on very many cars that are right out of Australia or England. However, those whose designs are based on them, I work on quite frequently prior to COVID-19. I've worked on Dodge, Chevy, GMC, Volkswagen. I've even worked on Subaru. I've worked on one of my favorite types of vehicles to work on, which is a It's a Super Duty Ford Power Stroke. I'm currently in the market for a 94 Ford F-350 7.38 Power Stroke engine in it. It was officially the first year of the Power Stroke engine design. Original body style. I'm looking for something that's preferably four-wheel drive. Some things I'm not willing to budge on are, one, it must be a diesel. It must be a 94. It must be an F-350. Single rear or dual rear wheel is acceptable. The next thing I'm not willing to budge on is it needs to be a manual transmission. It needs to be a long bed. Although I will accept a short bed to convert over to something different. So please, folks, if you've got a 94 that matches something like that description, reach out to me in the comments below or reach out to me at my email. I have a primary email that I check and respond to. The email is matt.hammer20@gmail.com. My official business name that I'm preparing to register is Geometric Yards Industries. I'm based out of Cheney, Washington. If you're willing to send the truck my direction and let the money work itself out later so that I have something to work on to be able to have a truck to start one of my, to get my business a little bit more diversified and expanded. I've been having people approach me to mow their lawns, and I do not have a pickup truck to do so with. Like I said, I'm a certified diesel mechanic for light duty engines. Light duty diesels. When I get my heavy duty certification, which is literally around the corner, I'm preparing to take the testing this month for it. I will do my absolute best to see to it that it gets very well maintained. I'm religious on the maintenance of my vehicles, and I take care of my stuff because I need it to last and I want it to last. I promise I'll take good care of her. I have a tractor on order. The payment will come when I receive my check, and the check is a very sizable check. If you're willing to show faith in me, I will see to it that every dime of the agreed end price will be sent to you. I can send it to you in either a cashier's check, or I can electronically transfer it over through the following methods. I can transfer the payment to you via direct wire transfer from my bank account. I can also send it via phone number and last name. So, folks, if you're willing to assist a small business out that is struggling to make ends meet, I can afford to put diesel fuel in the truck. I just can't afford to pay for the truck at this particular moment. I do have a sizable check that will be coming down the road. I have proof of what I state, and I am willing to privately show it to you in a video call. Another way you can reach out to me is I have the capabilities of Skype calls associated with the same email account. And if you send me an email first, I am able to do Facebook Messenger and accept your friend request that way, unless you're a member of the church. If you're a member of the LDS Church and it says so on your profile and I can verify that, I'll automatically accept it. I'm with the Church of Latter-day Saints of Jesus Christ, and I really do appreciate those who are willing to support small businesses. If you've got that old truck sitting around, it doesn't matter if it runs and drives. All that matters is that it's got a clean title. That's it. That's all that matters. When I see the title, what really matters to me is that it's completely clean. It has to be a squeaky clean title. Can't be a salvage title. Can't be nothing on the title. It needs to be clear of liens. Anyone who'd give me a vehicle with a lien on it is truly not about to support a small business at any level. Something I do need to do though on this map is I need to purchase some land. On this simulator. If y'all are wondering what this land here is being purchased for, you'll find out later in a future episode. I'm just sitting here twiddling my thumbs, I'm gonna bump that speed down. It's thrashing on the equipment. I'm very knowledgeable in what I do, folks. It's just, much like many of you, I fell on hard times when COVID-19 hit. I know there's a lot of you out there who, they really just need space in their garage. And I'm not asking for something that I can't earn and that I won't ever be able to pay for. I'm asking for someone to help me help you with that Ford pickup truck. If it needs a little work, I'm okay with that. I truly am. There's no two ways about it, folks. We're all in this together. And the simple fact of the matter, folks, is if we all band together and come together to solve this problem, look, the government's fix is worse than the disease itself. What the government's fix currently is, at its root, they want us to get out of debt by going further into debt. I'm not looking to go further into debt with the acquisition of the pickup truck. But if you're willing to put faith in me, it'll pay for itself in dividends. I will pay what I can. I'll pay the price in full when the money comes in. I lost my family member to get the check. I wish I could give the money back and get her back from God. But that's not going to happen. I've been through this before. I can sift through all the lies, the deceit, and the BS. So before you go trying to scam me, let me make something clear here, folks. Again, I'm a certified light-duty diesel mechanic who undergoes update training to maintain mechanic licensing. Now, if you want to see the documentation of me being a mechanic, at this point in time, it's inaccessible until further notice. But I'll be able to prove it at a later point in time. Alrighty, folks, when we have that tractor over there do its last pass down this little strip, we'll probably just cut the video and go into the next episode. Actually, I need to, once this tractor I'm driving finishes this particular pass, I'm gonna cut the camera and we'll go into another episode. I've got to review the footage, make sure my camera aiming is right from my head mount. Hopefully you all understand all of this. And like I said, I'm not asking for something I can't earn on my own. Just asking for a little bit of assistance. And like I said, I could do some wrenching on it. As long as it runs and drives enough for me to be able to get it home, that's what matters. That's what truly matters. And there you have it, folks. We are going to end the video here. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave your thoughts down in the comments. And remember this, we are all usually one paycheck away from being homeless. And remember this, folks. Keep it respectful, keep it classy. And thank you for watching. This has been an episode of Farming Simulator 19 on the big map. And the start of the channel. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a beautiful day. We will catch you on the flip.